Guys, the drama, it's hot today. It is hot. I didn't want to talk about this reactgate stuff. I hate reactgate. I hate talking about it. Enough talking about people reacting. If you don't know, there's a lot of discourse online about this whole reactgate thing. Basically, the idea that React streamers are like bad people because all they do is monetize themselves watching something that somebody else made, and then they cash out on it and they don't have to do any work and they get all your views. That's kind of the main basis of this situation. There's that one annoying dude, Viper, Twin X Viper or something, and that guy is a freak. He made like a whole manifesto about how React streamers are like awful people, and every React streamer is stealing content in bad faith, and as a content creator you should be so mad whenever anyone reacts to your content. This is what the discourse always boils down to. It's someone telling someone else that they need to react better and have more to say about the video. They need to analyze it or transform it in some way so that it's fair use content. And I think that this conversation is way more nuanced than people are willing to admit. And in a lot of cases, people just argue forever and forever about these like hypothetical situations that rarely ever happen in the real world. I'm already getting too into the reactgate stuff. I don't like talking about it because everybody gets so tense about it. Let me hold off for a second. I'm giving my opinion too much. But let's take a second to talk about the sponsor for today's video, Morgan & Morgan, America's largest injury law firm. What if I popped out of nowhere and I said, hey, you need to get a lawyer right now? Does that feel intimidating to you guys? Well, it shouldn't. Most Americans are intimidated by the idea of hiring some freaking fancy lawyer, but it's important to have someone that you can trust fighting for your rights as an American. In 2020, there were over 600 car crashes every single hour, and the saddest part is that most of these victims have no idea what they're entitled to, and they end up getting in a big mess because the idea of finding a lawyer sounds like even more on top of all the stuff you've already got to do. But with Morgan & Morgan, you're taken care of. You can submit a claim for an injury from your home in 8 clicks or less. Morgan & Morgan is a 21st century law firm, and they are one that has modernized the injury law process, making it even easier to communicate exactly what you need. If you're ever injured in an accident and you don't know where to start, you can check out Morgan & Morgan. Again, submitting a claim only takes 8 clicks or less without even having to leave your couch. So if you guys want more information, you can go to forthepeople.com, or you can just dial #law. That is the # and 529 from your cell phone. I want to thank Morgan & Morgan for sponsoring this video. Why don't we get back to the fun? People have these arguments all the time, and a big reason why it's come back up in the discourse is because XQC and Ethan from the H3 podcast had a debate a couple days ago about this React stuff, because XQC has been getting in hot water for basically a lot of people calling him out for just like monetizing himself watching like an entire like documentary's worth of a video. Let's watch XQC reacts hard to Daily Dose of Internet, which I guess is his snarky way of saying that people think he needs to react harder. People think that he needs to analyze what he's watching more. Let's see why they might think so.
Cute is, chat. It looks like a full gorilla, but smaller.
Wow. That was really good, XQC. It was like a full whole gorilla, but smaller. Oh, spot the difference.
Like a mini version of it.
Oh, it's a mini version. Okay.
I said that last time, didn't I? That is crazy, though.
So yeah, he'll kind of watch a video. He'll just sit there. Sometimes he even goes to the bathroom. Maybe sometimes upload basically an hour's worth of someone's content, monetize the entire long ass VOD of him sitting there and watching it. And then the most credit he really ever gives them is like a link in the description. And so a lot of people, including H3, have come after XQC saying, hey, you're the biggest streamer in the world. Do you really need to be re-uploading smaller creators' content with your head in the corner? And should you really be receiving all that money? And of course, again, this is a very nuanced topic, but this debate is like too funny not to talk about, so I have to at least dip my toes in a little bit. Now, the reactgate discourse online is very popular, and a lot of different people have a lot of different opinions on this topic, and those people really, really want those opinions to be heard, regardless of whether or not it affects their day-to-day at all. Most people who weigh in on this discourse aren't even creators themselves. And so as a channel that does a little bit of reacting, but mostly a channel that gets reacted to by other creators, I feel like I've got a little bit of a doggy in this fight. I feel like I'm allowed to say something. I mean, at the most basic level, my take is that most of the time, React stuff is good. I like it. And some of the time, it's really lame. A lot of times when this topic comes up, a lot of people are worried about content creators having their content just reacted to and uploaded onto the internet, and it ruins their platform and really stops them from being a content creator. And most of the time, this really isn't true. Most content creators have positive interactions with each other, and most of the time, React streamers don't want the people they're watching to like lose their audience or steal their views or like take money from them or whatever. Most of the time, it's actually a pretty positive interaction. Even if you don't gain like a ton of subscribers from something, it's cool for a bigger creator to watch your content, show it to more people. And regardless, I make content to be in front of other people. And if there's more eyeballs on that content, I don't really care if the few dollars that other people make on it don't go back to my account at the end of the day, because I just want to make stuff for a lot of people to see. And if a lot of people can see that, that's great. And I think a big reason why I and a lot of other content creators feel this way is because the bad reactors, people like Sniper Wolf or Mr. Beast Reacts or XQC, they're just like on the margins. They're very successful people that can make a little bit of money taking content from other people, but most content creators don't actually get enough views reacting to the stuff they're reacting to. And most of the time, the intention is never to take money or take views from somewhere else. Most reactors do give credit where credit is due, and that's great. On the other side of things, like the dark but twin, what's his name? Viper. On the other side, there is a very clear message of all reacting is bad because you are taking someone's content and monetizing off of it. But most of the time, that's not the case. A lot of times when people watch my content and put it online, it's because they have something to say about it. The biggest example, and someone who has a somewhat similar take to mine, would be Hassan. He watches me on his stream. My video is on the screen the entire time. You can see the title of it. People in the chat know who I am, and people enjoy watching it, and I think he has interesting things to say about it. Content reacted to in this way is how it usually is online. You can even look at another big creator like Moist Critical, someone who has weighed in on the debate before, saying that he thinks some reacting is fine as long as you're adding to the content. And of course, this Viper, Dark Viper or whatever, his fans swarm. It's a whole thing with that situation. But in general, he is now someone who does add a lot more in and analyzes what he's watching and talking about because he's the content creator. At the end of the day, you don't want to become a creator who is just popular because you're putting something in front of your face and you're reacting to it. And in the worst case, those reactions are just, wow. He didn't see that one coming. Whoa, chat, do you think, is that a car in Fortnite? Very rarely is that the case, right? And it sucks that there has to be people on the margins because, as usual, these small cases where people are actually upset about what's going on, it's usually with someone who is a reactor on the margins when it comes to big creators who are watching other people's content. And this means that because there's a very small percentage of content creators that don't have respect for the people they watch, like XQC here, and I do agree that the way that he reacts is bad, but also I have to acknowledge that that is based off of an invisible spectrum of reacting that doesn't exist. And that's where this conversation becomes very nuanced, because you know that a lot of people who react are doing so in good faith and want to show content that someone else has made. YouTube is built off of this. The only reason I can put anything up on the screen besides my face is because I am talking about it and I am transforming it, and that makes it fair use. Of course, when fair use laws come into play, a lot of times they don't really care about the line when it comes to companies, but when it comes to creators, you're allowed to try to claim that content if you don't want someone to make money off of it. If someone reacts to my entire video, I can actually get a notification saying that someone has posted my content online, and I'm allowed to claim that, and any views that go towards that will go into my pocket, or at least a split of it. But I never have done that before because people who react to my content do so out of good faith because they enjoy watching what I make. And so I like that. If XQC watches me and he reacted to my video, if he decided not to react to my video that day, the views that go towards that video aren't going to suddenly come to me. I think a lot of people believe that when someone reacts to something, you're directly taking an audience that could be watching the original video. That's just not how YouTube works. That's not how the algorithm works. Sometimes you're really only going to see a video because someone you enjoy is watching it, and that's great. But in general, on this debate, I don't even agree fully with one of the sides over the other, but because XQC is so dumb as rocks, like, I do not know what happened to him. I thought for a second he had a brain, and then this came out and all of these debate clips came out, and oh my gosh, he's so dumb. So I have to talk about this because honestly, in a debate like this, that where XQC goes in and H3 is basically taking the claim that he is stealing other people's content. He watches like an hour-long video by someone, re-uploads that video with his face in the corner reacting to it and maybe saying something every few seconds. I think seconds is very generous, but where am I? I want to kind of do a meta thing here today where we react to the moments of this debate that I thought were very interesting, and we look at where XQC went wrong, because he went from going into this debate trying to be collected and smart about everything he says, but he didn't have any preparation at all, and then Ethan came in and did a pretty decent job, but didn't have to try very hard to make XQC fully melt down in this debate. I don't understand why the most popular streamer in the world is this stupid. This is not going to be in order. I want to take a lot of the best clips and just show you guys what people are watching the most, because I have some things I want to say.
What percentage of people would you say you get permission from?
The majority. Quite honestly, when it comes to small creators, I have never had any pushback.
XQC's argument is basically, nobody really cares if I react to their videos. They're just happy they have the clout. And most of the time, it's not an issue. And obviously, just if most of the time it's not an issue, it's not really a good argument. But Ethan comes back and asks, what percentage of content creators are okay with you using their videos? And this is where the debate becomes very muddied, because it's like, you can't really, there's no like number on it, how much you need to be reacting to it. There's no number on like how many creators need to be upset at you reacting to their videos. So we have two sides. One side is saying, okay, but what if someone was upset with you watching their videos? And XQC's argument is, no, nobody cares. There's nobody that has ever pushed back and asked me for credit or money from one of my videos.
Right? So no victims in that case.
Okay, that's perfect. Have you heard of a guy named Vince Vintage? You reacted to 2 of his videos. You remember this video? So would you consider this guy a small creator? He doesn't have a lot of subs.
Yes.
Okay, why didn't you ask him for permission?
I don't know. Did he complain? Because at this point, I don't know if I have a victim, right? I don't know. So I didn't do.
Well, you did.
So XQC's rebuttal to the idea that there might be someone that is upset with him, his response is, well, how am I supposed to know if they're upset? They need to reach out to me. The obvious response is, hey, why? Maybe check why he's upset in the first place. But from XQC's perspective, he says, I react first, and if someone comes to me and they want me to take the video down or give them money from it, I will do so. Now, the issue is, obviously, if you're a small creator, how are you supposed to tell the biggest streamer in the world, XQC, that he stole your video when you're a small creator? How are you supposed to reach out to him and get that disputed? Especially if you're not in a position where you can have a dispute with someone like XQC, who, as you will come to learn, does not really like to stop arguing when it comes to debating with people. Let's just keep listening.
Yeah. And what's funny is I literally just reached out to one random person from your recent reacts. Just one.
It was only one, for sure.
Yeah. No, I swear to God. And I said, hey, I'm just curious, did XQC get permission? And I'm going to read you the message he sent me. He said, really appreciate you reaching out, Ethan. I've never been contacted by XQC at all for any of my react videos. My personal take is this. I love big streamers watching, like XQC, Hassan Mizkif, Moist Critical, watching my videos on their stream. It's a big ego boost. But when XQC does it, it's different. When he watches my video, he always re-uploads the...
So as you can see here, when it comes to the way XQC tries to argue, it really is like a 4th grader. It's crazy. And even though there are valid points he can make about, hey, maybe people on the margins will be upset, I'm still trying to figure out a way to argue on XQC's side for this, because he's just so bad at making his position clear. The idea that the first person Ethan talked to already had an issue with XQC reacting to it, but obviously he doesn't believe. He's like, oh yeah, of course you just talked to one person.
Literally just reached out to one random person from your recent reacts. Just one.
It was only one, for sure.
Yeah.
So he immediately doubts him on that case, rather than being like, okay, can we hear out what he has to say? It's like, oh yeah, no, he's a liar.
I love big streamers watching, like XQC, Hassan Miskif, Moist Critical.
And then when he says that XQC, there's an issue, he just like sarcastically makes a sad face at him.
He watches my video. He always re-uploads the whole thing on his YouTube channel with his insightful commentary as, wow, chat, isn't this crazy? Compared to when Hassan watched my stuff, he shouted me out and he says he loves my stuff and he sent a bunch of subscribers to my channel. A fair exchange. XQC, he really just steals my shit. Entertains his audience of hundreds of hours I put into my videos while I get just a link in the YouTube description. The problem isn't the reacting, it's the re-uploading of my video with his face on the thumbnail, and I don't DMCA him because I don't want the Twitter drama.
Oh, he doesn't want the Twitter drama.
Wait.
And he ends that by just, I don't know, like sarcastically being like, oh, he doesn't want the Twitter drama and that's why he's upset. He won't reach out to me because he doesn't want me to throw a fit online and embarrass him and send all my fans towards him. Yes, that's why he doesn't do it. And I think what the content creator says in this specific part that Ethan reads out is exactly where a lot of people fall on it. Most creators, including myself, love when other people watch our videos because we put effort into them, and we like to have, obviously I don't put as much effort in my videos as this guy does, but the idea that this guy is okay with people reacting to his content, but obviously when XQC does it, it's much different. He sits there and just watches the clip as if he's a part of the audience instead, and then uploads the entire thing, turns the monetization on, and adds nothing to the actual video. But let's see what XQC's rebuttal to something like this is, because he claimed that no smaller creators he watches actually care about him reacting to it, and now that there is somebody, let's see what he says.
Why are you, well, hold on. This guy says you stole a shit. Why are you denigrating that? I think you should take this seriously.
Well, because one is a paid actor, right?
Right out of the gates, he just goes, nope, paid actor. That guy's not, I'm not arguing with that because he's not real.
I think, well, I mean, that's a paid actor, 100%.
Wait, what? What did you say?
Oh, it's a paid actor.
He's a paid actor.
That's okay. I'll bite, no problem. He would be.
And this is another thing XQC does in this debate, is he tries to use like debate words, you know. You'll see what he tries to do. He really tries to talk like a smart person would talk, but he obviously goes into these debates fully in bad faith and assumes that the person on the other side is also just trying to be snarky and like get under his skin and doesn't actually believe what he's talking about.
A data outlier, and we can either recurve that, and I will de-damage him for every dollar that he has lost. I would be more than happy to give him 10 times 10x whatever damage
Okay,
was
good.
caused.
He'll reach out. It's not his job to come ask you for reparations for you stealing from him. Don't you understand that?
So what you're saying is that you went digging for victims. That
I literally messaged one dude. The fact that you're using the same title and the same thumbnail is so parasitic. It's so shady. You are only doing that to siphon off views and confuse people. There is no other reason for that.
So, okay, there's a lot to catch up on here, because XQC basically says that these people who are upset about him reacting to their videos are outliers, and these are people who at some point are inevitably going to come out and say that they're uncomfortable with him reacting to the videos, and he's like, okay, I can fix that. I can pay this guy 10 times whatever the video made. I don't care. And now the curve is back to normal and there's no outlier. But that's not true. Even the creator who talked about it in this clip said that he didn't want Twitter drama with XQC, which he's done a million times in the past. And so this part comes up and we're going to hear what XQC's response is to him taking the exact same YouTube title, the exact same thumbnail, but just smacking his face on there.
Why would you use the same exact title and the same exact thumbnail? Explain that to me. Just answer that.
Oh, because I wanted to.
Why did you want to?
Oh, because I wanted to.
Why did you want to?
Because the thumbnail is good and it gives the viewer what they want.
Right.
And,
which is the original video. They want the original video.
People would rather watch me full screen cam do the fucking worm than watch your prime.
Bro,
watch your
do
prime
it for
content.
a week. Do a week of no reaction content and see how many fucking views you get. Oh, he's crying in the corner. Oh, okay, sure. I mean, that's content, man. It's original.
This is legitimately he thinks that he's killing this debate right now. He's going in there so confidently saying that everything Ethan says is wrong. Literally, Ethan gets him to crawl on the ground like a worm because he says that people would rather watch him crawl around in the ground like a worm than watch the original videos that he's reacting to. And if that's the case, it completely contradicts your earlier point, which is that people want to see this content. You're just giving it more eyes because you're reacting to it. When in reality, if you're not adding to it, there's no point in making this content. If you enjoy the content, just promote the original content you like. You can just say that you like fucking PGA, psychology, whatever I forgot what the channel's called. JCS.
It's original content, at least. Yes, do that, bro. I mean, I don't think you have anything else interesting to say, so I think we can wrap it up.
Really? Well, I think your audience thinks I have something interesting to say. It's just the problem is that you're running.
How long do you want me to sit here and listen to you, watch you crawl around on the ground like a worm? I have a show to do, dude. Unlike you, I actually fucking organize and put work into my show. I understand for you, you're just burning time. You could sit here for 12 hours. That'd make your life easier. You wouldn't have to go steal videos. But me, I planned this. I have a show. I have a schedule. This is stop being interesting because you're just sitting there saying silly shit and doing the worm.
Okay, we'll wait. This Destiny thing, we'll look at it a second. Okay. This debate was a disaster. It was filled with XQC so confidently coming in on these points that he felt like he could properly debate. And even though he could have come out of that debate looking decent and maybe owning up to some of the stuff he did, but making a legitimate case that like, I'll start reaching out prior to uploading and make sure that these people are okay with the way I'm using their content. And this is why in most cases, stuff like this does not happen, because you don't have people that have the hubris that XQC has to come on to a debate with Ethan from H3, who has multiple like producers and people on his staff preparing him to do this show, because he has a complete company to run with a full team that runs the podcast, and XQC thinks he can just sit down and plop in his chair and not look like an idiot coming on the stream and trying to argue these things. Those were only some of the clips of him trying to debate the point that he should just be able to keep doing what he does. No one actually cares about it. When in reality, yes, most content creators do not care, but that is because the people reacting to us are either too small to actually make a difference, and it doesn't matter to me if someone just wants to react to my video one-off, especially if they're not making money off of it. Or on the other hand, people actually add enough content to it where it becomes a different video. There's a creator in the video that people enjoy watching that give their take on the situation. That's like saying that I am reacting to this debate and I should just let people watch it on their own because that's what people want to see. But no. Obviously, I have something to say about it. I have a perspective from both sides of the situation, and it's something that interests me in general when it comes to the YouTube space and seeing how people feel about content where people are reacting to other things. The whole dark Python thing that happened with that guy made this debate that anybody who uses or recycles content or even like art in general and uses it for their own good, that's bad. Because if you don't ask for permission to use that content, then you're taking that without their consent. But again, in so many of the cases, 95% of the time, this works fine. This creator economy works fine because the popular people who react to a lot of this content are not only giving credit to the people that they're watching, but they're also adding valuable insight, making it transformative. And it's very hard to argue where that line is. Of course, a normal person would believe that the amount that XQC is reacting is not enough. The average bar for how much you need to react is much higher than what XQC does. And I think most people would look at his content and be like, it seems like he kind of just watches other people's shit and just sits around all day and doesn't add anything besides, oh, Chad, that's crazy. We got to watch another clip from this because it is just ripe.
Ethan, you want to talk about amount of transformation? Let's just get some of your wife's old merch, which is a direct
yes, I love this topic.
So a lot of XQC's points in this debate are kind of just like No, I don't do that. Actually, you do this, and you're a bad person. If you think I'm a bad person for transforming content, then you're a bad person. And the reason is because Teddy Fresh, which isn't even Ethan's company, Teddy Fresh had one of their many in-house designers make a design that was far too similar to something that inspired them. Teddy Fresh learned about this and didn't know that it was stolen from something else, and they fired that employee. And XQC is taking that as like a point where he can own Ethan because, oh, if you think I steal content, then Teddy Fresh steals content too, and you guys are bad. But no, they weren't the ones that made the design. It was someone that worked for them, and they let that person go after learning about it. So let's see how Ethan and Hila tackle this argument.
I saw that. I've seen it. And some of the arguments you had against it. Oh my God. I think I changed the angle like 6 degrees. I changed the angle. Okay, Ethan, I don't know what you're trying to do. Now, yeah, and you know what? I changed the code down capacity. And we'll rotate sideways. That's maybe transformative, right? Ethan.
Okay, first of all, the Teddy Fresh thing. And by the way, I love whenever someone's losing a debate to me, they bring this up. It's literally the lowest hanging fruit. And if you know anything about me, you know I've talked about this 1,000 times. But I'll address it because you brought it up.
Go ahead,
We have like a whole team of designers, and sometimes our designers are taking stuff way too close to the source. And I agree, and it's not okay.
Give a fuck. So does my editors, which makes us about equal on that topic. So you can still sometimes, when somebody gets confused at the company,
You want to?
when one of the sweatshop guys gets it wrong,
Hold on.
Oh, my bad. But when my editor gets it wrong, oh no, we are thieving.
Hold on.
So this is the argument XQC tries to make. One of the designers made a Teddy Fresh piece that was far too original to what it was trying to take inspiration from. They fired that employee, but to XQC, he's saying, well, my editors just are the ones leaving in all of this content. And just because, you know, sometimes there's going to be content that I steal that I can't figure out what the argument is. I think he's saying that his editors are the ones leaving in other people's content. And in Ethan's case, even though it was a Teddy Fresh employee, they're doing the same, so they're morally equal. I seriously do not understand where this argument's coming from. The moment I try to explain it, it falls apart.
Hold on, let me finish my point.
Yeah, bring out Hila. Hey, bring him in. Your husband is bald.
My husband looks awesome.
Okay, dude, the fact that you're coming for my hairline just proves how fucking delusional that's a metaphor for all of your arguments. We have a fairly large company. This
is insane. He comes in and he's just like, your husband's bald. You're gonna leave your husband? He's bald. It is so awesome that this happened.
This is a common problem in all streetwear. We've had designers who have pretty much close to stole designs. We fired people over it. And every time it comes up, we have company meetings and say, guys, this is unacceptable.
This is like the Tim Robinson bit where he's trying to do the debate with someone and then he just like keeps getting mad and then he'll sit on his phone.
If you're caught doing this, you will be fired.
And we've made a strict guideline and it doesn't happen anymore.
What have
it
you
hasn't
done?
happened.
What have you done to prevent it?
Okay. So this is really good.
Okay.
You done?
Okay. That's what
He also tries to do the whole thing where he's like, I'm trying to talk. Don't talk over me. Don't talk over me. I'm trying to talk. You've been talking over each other the whole time. Stop trying to act like you're the better debater or whatever. Like, enough.
So this is really good.
Okay.
You done?
Okay. That's what you sounded like. I'm
like
just
a
being
child.
silly. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I don't know how you put up with this shit. I would fucking leave his ass. Anyway,
Bro,
I'm having a third child with him.
No, you're getting divorced. Wait, XQC didn't even say we're getting divorced yet. Go ahead.
XQC is getting.
You know our fourth.
Oh no!
Oh my God. This whole time, Hassan's been watching this clip in the corner and we didn't even know. They didn't even let us know. That's not fair. I don't want to get jump scared by him again. Dude, Dan literally said and mentioned how XQC is getting a divorce. I think his girlfriend left him. They got in that huge like argument on his stream in like December or something. And it was another very embarrassing thing. I don't know how he constantly passes up the last embarrassing thing that happened.
To come in, but you brought up Teddy Fresh. Listen, then talk to me because I'm the person running Teddy Fresh, not him.
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason why I brought up that point, okay, is that sometimes some things happen where it's somebody else's fault. It's a mistake. It's a whatever, right? And some things just gonna happen, right?
So XQC comes back, you know, and he's like, okay, you want to know why I brought this up? Of course, the original reason he brought this up was to claim that Teddy Fresh is also stealing stuff also. And so that means that they're the same. That's his argument, I think, is that sometimes you'll have employees mess stuff up and it just happens. But the difference is that this isn't a mistake on his employee's behalf. It's literally just his fault. Like, he's the one that's watching the content and not reacting to it. It's not your editor's fault if your clips don't have enough interesting things said in them. I think that's because you didn't actually say anything interesting.
Right? It's kind of human nature, and just it's supposed to fun.
And the question is, what do you do about it?
Yeah, what are you doing about it on a daily basis?
I took action about it, and it hasn't happened.
Yeah.
Since things came up online, people pointed out to us. We had meetings at the office. We made guidelines when we work with
I haven't
new.
been able to react. I'm trying to put my water bottle cap back on.
It would be different if I came here and I said, I don't care. There's nothing wrong with it.
And that has been XQC's response to this whole entire thing. Who's Hot Weird Girl? I'm like, why did I follow this person? Oh, they were spilling good tea on the Lizzo stuff, and I love following accounts that spill good tea. Trust me. I mean, you can see a lot of the ones down here are all people who also cover internet drama. A lot better than me, I'll tell you that much. And you can watch the entire debate. It's very funny. But the reason I want to talk about it is just because of not only how bad he handled the debate, but how bad he handled the post-debate. It's very clear that Felix went in without any preparation at all, and of course H3 had a lot of preparation because they hire people to do that for their shows so they don't get shit wrong and embarrass themselves. But XQC also has an audience that is mostly made up of younger people who are going to agree with him either way. He's the cool guy in the chair. Ethan's going to be the lib that's going to try to dunk on him. And I really think that the debate about the whole React thing really boils down to a case-by-case basis. But if you find someone like XQC who is a repeat offender of somebody who doesn't have respect for smaller creators' content and obviously doesn't have a plan to make these things right. He doesn't really think he's doing anything wrong, even though it's very obvious that he gets frustrated multiple times during this debate and completely shuts down and turns his point into these like middle school insults. So the debate ends and then Ethan goes over these like leaked DMs, basically, that XQC sent him after the podcast.
This is how it started. He messaged me last night, 11 p.m. I'm relaxing. I'm chilling. He wants to come shit talk me about the debate more. Says, the whole point of the show is that you actually discuss points. Yeah, that's how I understood it as well. Kicking me out and doing echo chamber tweets about the stuff you didn't prep for is some soy behavior, man.
And a lot of this is because XQC has kind of fallen into the corner of the internet where the only people he talks to are like debate lord people who just like arguing with people for the sake of like trying to dunk on them, even though everyone else is laughing at you, man. Everyone's laughing at XQC. The people who aren't, I'm pretty sure that they're middle schoolers, so I don't know if you should really like take their opinion as such a high regard. XQC says the whole point of the show is us discussing these points and hashing it out. And you kicking me out just puts you in this big echo chamber, as if the conversation wasn't an hour long and you didn't bring up so many points that are just, can you not see this point that you're trying to make about H3 and not realize that he is going to rebut it that easily? Why am I doing this? I mean, the moment the argument leaves his mouth, it's like, okay, but what about this? And then it's just like he falls apart. I can't read these. Okay, so here's the thread. The whole point of the show is that you actually discuss points. Kicking me out and doing the echo chamber tweets about the stuff you didn't prep for is some soy behavior, man. Cheers. Ethan responds, just says, K. XQC, Jesus, go back to bed, old guy. Ethan says, bro, you haven't slept in 2 days. You would have performed better with a nap beforehand. XQC responds, says, Z. If it was about actual truth, I would have just spammed the group chat full of files and made it boring. Gray hair Andy. So why didn't he do that? Why didn't he send files or prepare with some sort of argument? Next up, here's a graph that proves something. I have no idea what. I'm assuming that it's someone else sending him impressions on their content because he reacted to it. In XQC's case, I think anybody can say what he does is pretty slimy. It's pretty gross. It has a lot of disrespect for content creators who do put in a lot of time into what they do. And I feel like there is a good way to argue that, but the overall argument boils down so much to You just think I have to react harder, but my audience thinks I'm reacting hard enough. I think I'm reacting hard enough, and it's just a subjective, like, invisible line of where we actually fall on that spectrum, I guess. And I think the trick with this whole thing is not that we need to make any harsh internet laws that stop people from being able to make transformative content, but I think this is one of those cases where people are mostly just chill about it. And in the rare case you have someone like XQC who throws a fit when it comes to anybody saying that he might be wrong about something. Ethan says, you're coping, my friend. Also, I don't know why he's still responding to him. 50 plus unbiased sample size. Cope on this dick. You had one graph that proved me right. Okay, interesting. Still seems like he's very confused about what's going on. Few question marks here. Here's the graph that he sent. I thought that it expanded into something bigger, but no, it didn't. And then we have a bunch of deleted tweets here. I don't know what that's about. And he says that the YouTube shit is literally cut down for VodFrog. So he's basically saying that his reacts are actually cut down. They are edited by his editors, which means it's okay. But that actually means there's just more quiet space where XQC is just sitting there that had to be cut out by the editors. Because the editors put in everything that XQC says. There is a clip of every comment XQC makes during this like hour-long video, and it's about 30 seconds long. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, so this is the part of the podcast where Ethan shows XQC a edited video of every moment that he reacts to in this video.
I do think it's interesting because the commentary does matter.
Polish.
What? So then where?
Arnold began to notice that
Music?
Arnold didn't have the best voice. He knows as one of the
What the fuck am I watching? I mean,
the
it's that, hey.
face tattoo was finished.
Wait, that
instant response from
that
those who
is
knew.
pretty good actually.
Can
What the
someone
fuck?
tell me when
That guy's really good at it.
It's a 55-second video where he says words maybe a quarter of the time that noise leaves his mouth.
I'd love to.
Let's get one of your examples that show me the guidelines, what I should do to react. How do I post that in chat? Can I post this right here? Click on that.
So Ethan shows him the video with all the little bits of him reacting. That was the entire video of him reacting. These aren't clips that were just taken out of context from a bunch of different clips. Those were all the only time he talked during the entire thing. So let's see what his defense to that is for Ethan.
So instead of having my example of this, I think we should use yours instead, so I could learn how to be a better creator. How about you click on that?
So yeah, you uploaded to your XQC clips channel. You uploaded five. So you uploaded 5. Well, I just want to explain it. You uploaded 5 clips. Or wait, shit. You upload on this channel so fucking much.
Just play it. So when it was my turn, you played my clip. When it's your turn, you don't play the clip and you just comment before seeing it.
No, I'm setting it up for you.
He's trying to put it on the screen, dude. Obviously, he's not just going to give up on it.
Now, is it okay if we watch this one? Ethan shows XQC how transformative reactions are done, number 4. So here it is. So you can...
Hours? Okay, King.
Jesus. Finally over. Logan Paul.
Do you notice a problem already, Felix? There's a cut here.
Okay, King.
Jesus.
So whenever you play my video, did I say, wait, Ethan? I think I've seen something on the screen right there. Is that a dead pixel? Is that just play the fucking video, bro? Jesus Christ.
Okay, but it undermines your argument if you're showing an edited clip.
XQC comes back, and to prove that Ethan also doesn't do transformative content, he shows a clip from the podcast, but already edits out a part where Ethan talks. So it looks like he's not talking. That is such an unbelievable argument to try to make. I am so sweaty and tired. I need to get to the last part of this.
They would be in the right.
I think so.
So he's clipping out and he's cherry picking stuff. On the other hand, the original evidence was the full video that XQC did, but with only him talking. So there were not cuts made that cut out parts that he said. You can go back to that video and you can watch him react to the full Sunny V2 video and maybe make a few comments where he's like, oh, what the hell? Like, that's crazy. Oh, what the hell? And so what happens after this debate is that XQC talks to Destiny to see how he did. Destiny being I don't even want to give him an intro, but this is us seeing XQC jumping into a call directly after the debate with Destiny, who watched the debate happen and then asks Destiny how he did in this debate. This is someone who's on his side. This is someone who is friends with him, I guess. And so let's see. Let's watch this.
Hey, what's up, buddy?
How'd that go, like? Did you watch it or not?
I watched it, yeah.
How did I do? Tell me how, actually.
Oh, so it looks like, it says context, XQC did some debate prep with Destiny and his community, then checked in after the debate to see how he did. So obviously, Destiny falls on the other side of this debate, which is fine. I don't really care. I think reacting is good until it isn't for that specific person. There's really no more debate to make than that, unless you want to make some pretty strict copyright laws, which would prevent a lot of YouTubers from being able to make money off their job really at all. I don't know what the best option for all of this is, but I do think people are going into it really hard against React YouTubers only because people like XQC, Sniper Wolf, etc. exist. Those people are parasites who should not be a part of the YouTube community. But again, it's a very nuanced topic with a lot of opinions.
Just don't shut up. If I did really bad, you just don't, I don't care. Listen, I'm not trying to cash in a win or whatever, but...
So he comes in, he goes, Destiny, how'd I do in the debate? I'm not trying to cash in like a win or anything, but I feel like I feel like I came out of that with some pretty good points. And here's what his own friend says about it, who does not like Ethan or Hassan at all. So for him to be in a debate with Ethan about this is most people would expect him to take XQC's side, but after seeing how bad he did, this is what he says.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'd put it between, I'd give you a 2.5 on a 10 scale.
Okay, tell me why.
A 2.5 on a 10 scale, XQC immediately shuts down and goes, all right, tell me why.
Okay, just a couple things, okay? So one, okay, I think it would help to organize your thoughts before a debate, like do like a formal outline, because I think Ethan does that, and it helps him to keep his thoughts straight, because you want to like rattle off a lot of different things, and it's tempting to go to a lot of different places, so that's one. And then two, I think you gotta bring the chill way up and the snark way down, because it seemed like you were getting like really mean really quickly.
But you told me this was about optics. If it is all about worldview and morality, I had to just get him mad.
Okay, I thought you said this was about world optics and morality, so I just had to get him mad. I think he's listening to too many debate people talk about how people should debate without actually doing those things. He's just using the words and hoping that it makes him look good. But if you crawl on the ground like a worm, it makes you look bad. There's no time where you crawling on the ground like a worm is going to be a dub for you.
And I got him mad. I don't know.
I don't think he was ever mad in that conversation. I think he probably feels pretty good about all of that. I don't think he was...
I don't think there's a singular creator that likes to be at their peak viewership and exit out of a convo room saying that he's balling out and he's happy. I don't...
Dude, you literally crawled on the ground and melted down. And now you're debating the person who is supposed to tell you that you did a good job in the debate, because you can't even take the criticism that way. Just listen for a second, okay? You don't need to listen to every point and wait for the time where it's time for you to come back in and make your big dunk on them. Just think. You can stop for a second and think, right? I don't know.
You don't believe that either. I think you're just kind of trolling.
Okay. Well, if you think I'm trolling, I won't give you any feedback at all. I know for a fact, 1,000,000,000%, we can come back in 2 years and revisit this, but he's absolutely not mad. That conversation probably went better than he could have ever expected it. He had you crawling around like a worm on his screen while he was like getting you point after point after point after point after point.
Well, I'm garnering views and I'm fucking, I guess I'm stacking deals in cash when he's fucking mauling out there, man. It seems like I'm doing pretty good for myself, to be honest.
This is so like, this is like more than Aiden Ross levels of like embarrassing.
You gotta sprinkle some content? My bad. Next time I'm just gonna sit here and fucking wait till Ethan rolls out 1,000 word rant and have his wife come in and fucking support him with some fucking character, man. Pog. What was that, man? I don't get it.
Well, I think if the goal was to just make money or make content, I mean, you're always winning there, but I don't think that's what the debate is right?
He tried to make the money argument the whole time. That
I'm saying that if the goal is to see who has more money by the beginning and end of the debate. Obviously, you won that, right? But
then don't bring fucking Antics and whatever, because I mean that's the only way I could get the point across. That like,
I think there are strategies before doing the worm that we can employ to get points across.
Like, it sucks that we have to agree with Destiny here, you know? It's like he crawls up to him. He's like, please tell me I did a good job. Oh, come on, please, Destiny, tell me I did a good job or I'm going to poop my... Dude, oh my God. And then, it just keeps going. And then we have the Aiden Ross stuff. I thought this video, I was just going to knock it out really quick, but no.
Oh, fuck a song.
Yeah. No, a song. I thought he was
talking about a song. And Aiden is so freaked out about Hassan that he's like, no. Fuck Hassan.
He leaked the DMs.
I didn't like that.
It's private DMs, like...
Yeah, that was... But
dude, what are you talking about? The DM was, and don't forget I got your whole house on my wrist with a kissy face. How does that not seem like an L to you? I don't care. No one cares if you leak DMs, especially if it's shit like this. No one cares. You can't just be like, well, you leaked DMs, so you're wrong. I'm right. No, dude, you look dumb.
But that was so cool that you flexed on him in the DMs. That was cool as fuck.
That wasn't...
So Aiden is so dumb. Everyone is so dumb. Where are they? What is going on? This feels like a joke. It feels like they're both acting. Listen to how Aiden reacts to him in this embarrassing DM that both of them are trying to make a different point, is what I'm trying to say.
But that was so cool that you flexed on him in the DMs. That was cool as fuck.
That wasn't the... Okay.
But I gained respect for you.
Hold on. Yeah, okay, sure. I'll take the credit.
But they don't even agree with the same thing. He's trying to act like this wasn't an embarrassing, like, flex, but he's... Okay, listen to this. This is actually his argument.
The joke is that I know how much his house is worth. It's a big house. The watch is not worth his house. That was the whole fucking point.
But still, bro,
it was like a fake flex. Like
nah, bro.
But nobody saw through it.
Flex, bro. I'm not gonna lie. You shitted on him, bro.
Whatever.
Stop.
So bad. I need to get out of here. Guys, I can't. Okay, well, we're not talking about the React drama. If I know how this shit normally goes, that Dark Viper guy is going to come after me and he's going to write like a whole manifesto about me because I mentioned his name in the beginning of this video. Guys, don't listen to people who are freaks about React YouTubers on either side, okay? It's not enough to get mad about. It's such a dumb topic to complain about. And if you are a creator, take care of your content in the way that you want to. If that means that you go and you copyright the people who watch you, go do it. A lot of people aren't big enough to have that kind of power, and that sucks. But I think in most cases, people who are popular and who react to content give input on it that wouldn't exist without them making that video. In this case, of course, this is not what's happening. And XQC massively, I do think this is going to affect his career. Him running back to Aiden and Destiny, I mean, that means that your career is about to fall off. That's what happens right before you die on the internet. Anyways, that's all I had to say. I didn't realize this video was going to be so long today, but I hope you enjoyed it. I will talk to you on Friday, I think, and make sure you check me out on all social medias. I got a couple playlists on the screen. The He Said Us drama playlist, the drama on the second channel. You can watch the new Queef Jerky video, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. It's hump day. Let's get at it. Let's get crazy. It's a nice summer day outside. I'm just talking now. Okay, that's it. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.